Bleeding Purple Podcast. Deep block, steps up in the pocket. He'll fire to the right side. Caught by Nick. Stay alive. Oh my God. 30. No. 10. Are you kidding me? In the Minneapolis way. Step on Diggs. And the Minnesota Vikings have walked off on the New Orleans Saints. It's a 61-yard Minneapolis miracle. I can't believe what I just saw. What an unbelievable play.
Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in to Bleeding Purple, a podcast about the Minnesota Vikings. My name is Tyler Hay. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Aaron Patrick. Hello, good sir. How are you?
Hey, how's it going?
There was a football game last night. Did you hear?
I did watch it, actually, yeah.
Did you? I also watched it.
Yeah.
41-33, Philadelphia won. Are you surprised by this outcome? Were you surprised that Philly won the game?
I mean, I guess I shouldn't be anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way they've been playing in the playoffs, or the way they played in the playoffs. Remind me a lot of what the Ravens did a couple years ago when they had Joe Flacco just lighting it up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they played good, and they beat the Patriots. They came up with the plays when they needed to. Nick Foles played out of his mind again.
Yeah, again.
That offensive line is really good, as the Vikings learned, and they were really good yesterday. I don't think they allowed a sack. Yeah, they were good. I mean, there's not really a whole lot to say other than that, because there weren't any punts.
Yeah.
There's one punt. There was like 2 turnovers. It was mostly just like driving back up and down the field, pretty much.
Yeah, I thought you totally nailed it. When I thought more about it, I was like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done that to the Eagles the whole playoffs. Like, and nobody was really giving him a chance because of that quarterback thing, and that was a really good team, and Nick Foles played really well, and they stomped on us, and then, I mean, like, they were really good in hindsight.
Had over 500 total yards yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, so Patriots, but still.
41 points on the Patriots. That's pretty impressive.
In the Super Bowl. The Patriots' defense is not that great this year, but still, they weren't. They weren't like
a lot of points to score.
Yeah, they weren't like Browns level, but they did that. They did that to the Vikings too. So.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vikings were supposedly the #1 defense.
Unbelievable. Now that everyone, well, I guess not everyone is leaving New England, but the defensive coordinator was just named head coach in Detroit, and it's possible that the offensive coordinator is leaving. It's possible the special teams coordinator is going to leave with the defensive coordinator. Is this the beginning of the end for New England? I don't think so.
No.
If they have Belichick and they have Brady, they're fine.
Yeah, as long as they have those two, they're pretty good. As long as Brady's still playing, he was still throwing. He had some pretty passes last night, and
got through for over 500 yards in the Super Bowl.
I don't know what he's doing. If he's like injecting like dinosaur blood into his body,
probably. I think so. It would be worth investigating. That's all I'm saying. Last time we saw dudes play this.
Yeah, I think the NFL's had enough of investigating the Patriots for a while.
Yeah.
They've done
maybe not the way we need to go. Oh, God, could you imagine that again this offseason if it was just Patriot investigation story?
No.
Yuck.
They're already talking about something not related to, well, I guess it's related to the game, but the whole Malcolm Butler thing about him, being benched, I guess. Now it's being said that he was sick and he didn't have a good week of practice, and then he was out late at like a Rick Ross concert or something. He missed curfew, so Belichick just like
benched him for the Super Bowl.
Best corner for the Super Bowl.
It's the Patriot way. Whoops.
I mean, they still almost won.
They did.
It wasn't the defense. Well, you know what? It was the defense's fault because they didn't hold the Eagles anything. But
I was after the game, I was thinking, And that was the first thing I thought was about the Eagles. Like, God, they were a lot better than they got credit for the entire playoffs. And then the next thing I thought was, even after all that, and with as well as Philadelphia played, and they got the turnover that they needed, that was the one turnover that needed to happen, you know, or that was going to swing the game, and they got it. Tom Brady still, after all that, still threw the ball into the end zone on the last play of the game.
Yeah,
like, that guy is unbelievable. And it drives me crazy.
They could have got an interference. I think people are all over Gronk.
Oh, man.
They went up in the air.
Well, and that ball, like, it hit him on the helmet and just kind of, like, floated there for a while.
Oh,
it seemed like.
You know, Eagles fans were like, oh, no. That was Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
oh, man.
That's the same thing. It's just, it's terrifying. And it's almost like there was like 2 minutes left, and I was like, this game is so far from over with this guy playing quarterback. He's just something else. And it only took me however many 8 Super Bowls and 5. No, I'm not. No. I guess I'm like now starting to appreciate how good Tom Brady is and not be like as annoyed with. Yeah, it took me a long time. I knew he was really good, but now it's kind of like, oh man, this guy is like
18 years.
Really unbelievable. Yeah, 18 years. Why I had to go through the is he really this good phase. That's like 4 years. And then 4 years worth of God, I hate this team and I want them to stop winning, and now we're on to holy smokes, they're really good. I should appreciate this.
You're older now. You can appreciate a good team.
I'm getting wiser. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You know, I didn't want to say it, but I'm glad that you did. You know, it's good.
Yeah, I thought that to my wife too.
Yeah.
Getting wiser.
Yeah.
Me and Tyler discussed this.
It's, you know, and once we discuss it, it goes on the internet, it becomes the truth. That's part of the reason I got into this gig, was because it makes, you know,
everything
whatever I say the truth, because it's on the internet. It's how the internet works. Other stuff with the Super Bowl. What was your favorite commercial from the Super Bowl?
That would be the Eli Odell one.
Mm-hmm. I like that one a lot. You know, I was a big fan of the Tide commercials.
I like those.
I thought those were really funny. I was really into it, and I'm hearing a lot of responses
because it was making fun of other ads, like other boring ads, and they're like, no, Tide ad.
Dude, they had me hook, line, and sinker on the fake Old Spice commercial.
That one. They had like the I think like the old people medication one, or like the lady was playing tennis and it's a Tide ad.
They were so good. I thought those were so great.
I was disappointed in the commercials though yesterday. Usually they're pretty good, but yesterday it was just like a bunch of movie trailers and car ads.
It was like there were every year there's like a group of 3 or 4 of the Doritos ones that are just goofy and super weird and off the wall, and it was like those ones didn't really exist or weren't there in as high.
Yeah, we had the Morgan Freeman one.
Yeah, that one was good.
That guy from Game of Thrones or whatever his name is.
Also, I'm over Dilly Dilly. Done.
Yeah.
Done if I can't do it anymore. Not funny.
Good while it lasted.
Yeah, it was okay for a little bit, but
I mean, Mike Zimmer has a shirt and hat, so he'll probably wear it around, but
it's too much now. I don't know.
It was a good try. I mean, Bud Light usually does pretty good with they've definitely had some better repetitive commercials.
They do this so often. It's frustrating that they're just like currently waiting on their next Dilly Dilly, the next
only if their beer was as good as their commercials.
If only. You're focusing on the wrong details here.
Sorry.
Dilly Dilly.
See, but with something like Skittles, who has really good commercials, and they're really good. So.
Yeah. I vote Tide for my favorite commercial.
Yeah, I can.
That was good.
Agree with that, just because the Eli and Odell one was made by the NFL, so I was like, this is kind of stupid because the NFL probably didn't really pay any money for it.
Yeah, and a commercial for your own commercial within your own commercial in a game that's just one big commercial is kind of like the. Although The Dirty
Yeah,
Dancing. It was really funny and really accurate too, which I thought was like kind of put it over the top. Because you could have had them just do the hold each other up thing, and people would have gotten it, and it would have been funny. The like perfectly choreographed. That was good. They
had that like 30 seconds of blank space too. That was good.
Yeah, I like heard that on the radio today, and I thought that was my TV. I like turned my TV off and changed channels for a minute and turned it back. I was like, oh, good, it's on. I thought it was me, and then I heard on the way home that 30 seconds, people lost their mind. I was like, what? Didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Who? Well, yeah. Who let something like that happen? Or, like, is there one guy who's just like, got fired on the spot for that?
They don't have a job anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, is there just one, like, Ted, that was, 30, you remember the 30 seconds of blackout? Ted, he's gone now. Yep, he's fired.
I heard some people had, like, a local spot for that time, so maybe
so maybe there was...
Get a local spot.
And when you're doing broadcasts that goes to that many people, I mean... That's probably one button and half the country lost the feed. What do you do? That makes more sense. Second of all, who's mixing the Justin Timberlake audio debacle? Because that first quarter of that was brutal.
When you couldn't hear him?
You couldn't hear anything. It was like...
Well, that's the problem with his new song. You can't really hear his voice, which is kind of stupid because he's a good singer.
He's a great singer.
So. See, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed that halftime performance. I thought it was one of the better ones.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. Is can you put a letter grade on it?
I give it like a B+.
B+, okay.
Just because my wife was complaining, like, oh, he's not even singing. I'm like, yeah, but he's dancing all over the place. He's performing. He's putting on a show. He's not there to show off his vocal abilities.
Yeah. He can sing. He's there to perform and dance and do his thing.
He sat at the piano. He sung there. And
yeah. The piano part was cool. The Prince thing. What did you think of the Prince thing? Was it over the top? Is it too much? Have we hit a point where like?
No, I think it was fine. I think people were expecting more, maybe, but.
Well, when you start rumors about holograms and you don't have a hologram and it's just a sheet of paper, a bed sheet,
a sheet of paper,
just a bed sheet hanging up.
But I think, I think it was the right dosage. It wasn't too much, and it wasn't like too little. I'm sure Minnesota people probably wanted a little more, maybe bring someone dressed out, as Prince. But
yeah.
No, but I think it was. I think it was good. I think it was better than some of the recent ones. I thought Lady Gaga was good last year too.
Yeah,
so I just like people putting on a good performance
for sure. And as long as I don't have to see Bruno Mars like a bunch of years in a row again, like, I'm good with it. Just
he's
keep
good.
it switching. Yeah, he is, but I don't want to have to see him like 3 years in a row. Switch it up, Pepsi, make it work.
Some people.
So I like that part of it.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
I think I give it.
Because there wasn't really anything that went wrong.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Yeah.
It was just a solid performance.
Aside from the mixing sound stuff at the beginning,
and that's just his song.
And it was kind of
that's how his song sounds.
Totally. I'm gonna give it an A-, and I think that the minus had nothing to do with Justin Timberlake, who is a treasure, an American treasure. It was just for the mixing stuff and the sound stuff, and it's Super Bowl and it's live, so it's like you want to get everything in there, and it winds up being like.
And that stuff should be all like sorted out beforehand.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is like it's that stuff kind of bummed me out. Where it was like kind of like sitting in a car with like a 16-year-old, where it was like 20 seconds and skip, 20 seconds and skip. It was like next song, next song. Just trying to fit like 18 Timberlake songs into a 5-minute thing.
I saw somebody posted afterwards, like the people that weren't liking it or whatever, like. His music isn't really geared towards people over 30. I'm like, his first solo album came out when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I'm 30.
He's totally geared towards people like...
here's the thing. All of his fans are 30 and over now.
Yes. And that's what I was just going to say, was when he was in NSYNC, that was the girl... Like, that was the fan base was created when they were, like, youngsters. Come on. That's how they get them all. It's like cigarettes. You start them off early, and then they're addicted their whole life. Justin Timberlake equals addictive tobacco.
What do you got? Monster and coffee? Oh my god.
This is a coffee monster, so it's like.
But yeah, I know. But you were drinking.
Yeah, coffee before.
Coffee.
I'm switching. I'm alternating. It's like
going all nighter.
Yeah, it's like shots and beer. You know, it's like every now and then I want like a good.
Probably don't want to do that though.
Good kick, you know. Like,
shots and beer is never. It's never. Well, maybe when you're in college, it's all right.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No, definitely not.
It's either one or the other for me.
Yeah, I think it's a bad idea to mix the two. I found that out the hard way so many times.
Speaking of Justin Timberlake, his shirt looks a lot like that painting behind you right now that he wore last night.
Purely coincidence. It's definitely. I don't want to talk about.
Somebody posted something that his shirt was like a Bob Ross painting.
Yeah, we actually a lot of Bob Ross gets played in this house, and I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that.
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It is.
Yeah.
Yep. So you can just roll them right through. They're great. Great. There's one recently that I saw where he's got a small duck that is also on set with him. A duck.
Oh, all right.
So yeah, I mean, there's just one great example of the magic that is the Bob Ross show on Netflix.
Oh.
Do you think, is it better that Philly won? Do you think it's better that the Vikings lost to the eventual Super Bowl champions, or do you think it's...
I don't know if it's better, and obviously would have rather had them win, but...
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
it's better to...
I don't feel any better or worse.
Champion. Yeah, me neither. It makes me sad. This whole week kind of bummed me out because it was... So
I still think
easy.
the Vikings could have beat them, though.
Yes, and so easy to look around this week and see how much fun it would have been if the Vikings would have been in that Super Bowl. It would have been bonkers in this town. It would have been epic.
Heartbreak they would have come through and Tom Brady on that Hail Mary to win the game.
Yeah, because that's what would have happened. No, you know what? Actually, I had a great point by a coworker was made today. He said after the Minneapolis Miracle, that stadium it's like reached capacity for miracles in like one stretch of time. So it was like on a normal season, Tom Brady completes that pass. But because this year the Minneapolis Miracle already happened. No.
One thing I did take away from last night's game is it might have not been Kai Forbath last year that was the problem.
Yeah.
That stadium seems to be giving kickers a little trouble.
Something's going on there. They are talking a lot about the logos, the Super Bowl logos, but I mean,
I noticed the video board's like right in the middle of like the field goal
where they're aiming or
posts.
whatever. Yeah,
like
maybe
right
that's
view,
part
so
of
maybe
it.
that throws them off.
But that was a weird hold.
That's not something they can move.
Yeah, exactly. That's not exactly portable, as you would say. Yeah, maybe that's part of it. I noticed that like the hold was weird on one of them too.
Yeah,
and
so
so
it was really bad. The snap was bad, and he like tried to kick it sideways.
Yeah, that was the one that was like knuckleball into the.
Then I was like, oh, so it's like a Vikings game right here.
Exactly. It's like that's what I was saying. It's like the stadium just has to produce enough terrible field goal attempts, and then it's like okay, and then everybody can kick normally, but it just forces knuckleball awful kicks out of really good kickers.
Yeah, I think you just agreed with this, but I said the Vikings. I still think the Vikings could have beat the Eagles. I just things didn't go the Vikings' way that when they played the Eagles. I think as soon as they got that pick six, everything just
fell apart. I think the Vikings could have beaten both Philadelphia and New England. I think that their defense would have done a better job. I feel like if the Vikings play Philadelphia in Philly 10 times, I feel like the Vikings win it 6 or 7 times out of the 10. I would, if I had to guess. Which makes it that much more frustrating. But I don't know. Philly was playing, I don't like using terms like team of destiny or, stuff like that. But Philly was really, really good. And they were pissed off that nobody was giving them any credit. I didn't give them any credit. You didn't. I mean, it was hard to bet against Tom Brady. I mean, I don't know.
Side with Nick Foles.
Yeah, and when you give a team motivation like that, I mean, how much bulletin board do you need? That was everywhere. All playoffs was that they were nobody thought they were any good, including Vegas, including, you know.
Well, I was noticing last night, I'm like, I still don't think the Eagles are like that amazing of a team.
No, they're not.
Like, they just continue to get not this. I don't know. I guess you'd call them lucky breaks or whatever.
They're very opportunistic.
They take advantage of, you know, the opportunities that are given it to them. So I guess that does make you a good team. But like, there's nothing that stands out. There's no like. I guess that's good. There's no one player that just carries the whole team.
Well, it's like
it's kind of like how the Patriots were like when they first started off.
Yeah.
Being good in like the early 2000s. It was just like a whole team kind of thing.
Yeah. Like games where you just shake your head and be like, well, they're probably not going to do that consistently. And then they just kind of kept doing it consistently. Like that, I thought that fourth down play where they wound up scoring a touchdown, the one where it was the pass to the toss to the running back to the pass to the tight end to the when Foles caught the pass. Like that right there is like, that's opportunistic, but you have to do that, you know? You have to put yourself in that position. Yeah. And they did it, and they've been consistently making plays like that, and he's been calling plays like that, you know, this whole playoffs. And it was like, I don't know, it was just like a series of head shaking. Yeah, exactly. It's like a series of like, oh, well, they won't be able to do that. You know, it's like when Steph Curry takes a really long three. Right away, it was like, we'll let him do that because there's no way. And then he averages 45 a game that season, you know, and makes all those threes from that far away. Maybe a bad analogy, but you kind of get my point, right?
I do agree. Yeah. They just, I guess, to beat them this year, you just had to play pretty much a perfect game.
Yeah.
Couldn't afford to make mistakes because they would, you know, take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that offensive line is just really good. They gave Nick Foles a lot of time, and they gave big holes to their running backs. I think they had over like 130 yards rushing. So.
Well, the running game was really impressive. The offensive line is really good. And then when you lost the quarterback, you just got to shift your offense to an offense that the rest of the teams in the league hadn't really seen yet, you know? And they ran that offense. Not that it was like super different, but I mean, you have to call it a different game when it's Foles as opposed to Wentz. But I mean, they did that, and then, you know, we're playing teams that weren't ready for what they were dishing out.
Yeah,
that was a crazy run to the Super Bowl, and just like surprising that not only that they got there, but then like we talked about, should we be surprised? They were the number one seed. They were a really good team.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like the whole underdog thing too, because people were like, "Oh, they're the underdog." I'm like, they're the number one seed.
But that was the way people were talking. Was that like they almost didn't even?
Well, they weren't favored in any of their playoff games, so technically they were the underdog.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Which is weird. Yeah. They were the one seed and they weren't favored in any of their playoff games.
I don't understand Vegas sometimes with those favorings and because like it's like the odds to win the Super Bowl next year. The Packers are higher than the Vikings. How? Mm-hmm. Why? Mm-hmm. Can you explain it? It's just Aaron Rodgers?
Guy who wears number 12, yeah. He's that good. He's got the Danica Patrick power behind him. Maybe in front of him.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe behind him.
Yeah.
Maybe like that one.
Yeah, who
knows? I don't think that would surprise people.
No, to each his own. To each his own. That would be fine if he did. The Danica Patrick power is very funny. I think we should use that. Use that again.
Hopefully it's like a jinx or something, like when Tony Romo was dating Jessica Simpson.
That was awesome. Yep.
Not for Cowboys fans, but yeah.
No, yeah, but for me, that was real fun to watch.
Was that like 2009?
I think yeah. Wasn't that the year that he like fumbled the snap on the extra point? And fell over?
So that was before that. That was when they played Seattle. But I was thinking because 2009 is when they played the Vikings and they got blown out.
Maybe that was
in the playoffs. I don't know.
God, I don't know.
He might.
I'm
long.
so wise. I've seen so many years of football that it's hard for me to keep track
Yeah.
of all of them. We already asked. I already asked you if New England's done. Is this the end for New England? Okay.
No.
All right. That's all I have for the Super Bowl. Overall, I give it a thumbs up. I thought it was pretty good. As far as the Super Bowl being in my town,
yeah, it was good. But people were. I'm not going to agree with the people that say it was the best game ever.
No, no.
I'm sure
people are saying that. Or people saying? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Last year's Super Bowl was better.
Way better.
The one before that was better. No, wait, that was the Broncos and Panthers. That wasn't really better.
Statistically, I mean,
Patriots and Seahawks.
I guess there is a case to be made statistically because there were, wasn't that the most points?
Yeah, but it was weird because I'm like, I guess I need some defense for it to be exciting. Mm-hmm. Because it was just like too easy.
Yeah, I'm not really a defensive guy. I'm offensive guy. I used to play quarterback. I used to, that's how my brain works. Yeah, but it's like Big 12. I can't watch Big 12 football. That's it's like there's no defense. I'm not interested. Yeah, it's like I don't want to watch a track meet. I want to watch football. Defense, it's important. I didn't know I appreciate defense more after Zimmer started coaching this football team, because to watch a really
13-0 game,
and to watch a really good NFL defense is pretty impressive. We just never really had a chance to do that because our defenses were never that good.
not since 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah, and I wasn't alive then, so I didn't get to see it. And they don't have those games on YouTube yet.
I'm sure you can find them, but they're not like good viewing quality, probably.
Yeah. The pylons are just it's like there's a gas line here, flag in the ground. Real good stuff. I like watching. I have NFL Network, and they play super old games like that sometimes, and they cut it up so it's like edited into like it's an hour.
Sometimes they show those and they're all in slow motion, and I'm like, I can't watch.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to do that. That sounds awful. I don't want to watch that.
Well, like not
but even
slow
then,
motion.
Oh, but like the players
films,
themselves,
motion.
Yeah. Oh,
not
yeah.
It's like a slower pace, but it's not all the way slow motion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Was watching games from that era is kind of tough, just because of it's just dust and limbs and a pile of human and the whistle blows, and then they do it all over again. Not a lot of excitement as far as the passing game is concerned. Okay, time now for the obligatory weekly quarterback update for the Vikings, because until they have a quarterback, we're going to have to talk about it every week.
Weekly obligatory quarterback situation update.
This week was the Super Bowl, and Kirk Cousins was in town, and he says the Vikings are the number one contenders with a bullet if the offer is competitive.
The offers are comparable. Mm-hmm. Reportedly,
allegedly.
To, Paul Allen, the voice of the Vikings, on the radio.
Who else? And then Case Keenum also said that he's got some unfinished business here because he likes it here. Do you think?
Yeah, it's going through the motion.
Yeah. Do you think it's going to be Kirk Cousins? Do you think it's going to be Case Keenum, or do you think it's going to be neither of those two that will be the starter for the Vikings?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because a week ago I would have said Teddy. Mm-hmm. But after what, like the Alex Smith trade happened,
I kind of changed everything.
A day after like we recorded and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, that changed a lot, because that pretty much means that Kirk Cousins is going to be a free agent.
Have you
franchised? Although
have you also heard
the Redskins want to franchise him and then try and trade for him, because everyone wants to trade for a quarterback getting paid $30 million a year.
That they know you don't want, that you're going to have to release at the end of whatever you're going to do anyways. So no,
teams would
nobody's
gladly
have you.
Teams would gladly have you keep him for a year.
Mm-hmm.
for $30 million and have no money to spend on anyone else because you just gave a boatload of money to Alex Smith too.
Does that not seem like the most? I don't want to say trivial, but like the
Redskins thing?
Yeah, it's like spiteful. Like, we just don't like you, Kirk. You know, like that's so backwards to like.
Well, yeah.
From a business standpoint, to place value, to lock yourself into value when everybody around you knows that you're going to have to eventually get rid of that player.
That's what the Redskins do best, though. Really,
it's just shocking, though, at times how bad they can be.
Daniel Snyder's been there.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good GM, and then they got rid of him for some reason because his boss didn't like him.
Was that the gentleman with did he have a drinking problem that they kind of like aired?
That's what they made it into, but
yeah,
they made it a lot worse than it was.
Yeah, they're super slimy over there. I don't know if I would want to be a part of that organization.
Well, you can just go back. You can just start with their name that they don't want to change.
Mm-hmm.
So,
good point.
But yeah. It sounds like the Vikings are at least going to have a chance. People are saying, he's not worth the money, but that's how much quarterbacks are going to cost these days. A decent one, it's not cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Case Keenum's going to cost not that much less.
Yeah. The question to me winds up being, how many years do you want to be locked in with each dude? Because that at the end of the day, whether you like Cousins or you like Keenum or you like somebody else, it's who are you most willing to hang out with for 3 years and pay that hunk of money.
That depends on the player too. If he wants to, if Kirk Cousins is going to a new team and he wants to see how it goes, at first he might sign a shorter contract, like a 4 or 5 years.
Do you think, though, because those quarterbacks and their agents, that it's hit.
Oh, they always want
you don't get me unless it's 5 years and $100 million guaranteed.
But the Vikings could give him like a 6-year, 100 whatever million. Mm-hmm. But they could backload it all and then have like an option later on after like 3 years to like get out of it with this like a meaningful, not meaningful, but like a sufficient. It wouldn't destroy their cap space if they got rid of him in a couple of years.
Do you think Cousins is? I mean, you kind of alluded to it a little bit ago, but do you think he is a good enough upgrade at that position to warrant the like $10 million a year, $12 million a year more that he's going to make over Case Keenum?
He's not going to make that much more.
You don't think so? You don't think the market is going to? See. You're not the first person I've heard that from. And I just think that...
Because I think Case Keenum's going to make more than people think.
So you think they're going to be closer to one another because Keenum's going to make more, not necessarily that Cousins is going to take less?
Yeah, I think Cousins could probably get around $30 million a year, I think. Mm-hmm. And Keenum could probably get at least 25. The cap's going to go up again. The quarterback market always going up. So, I mean, I think people think the Vikings can get Case Keenum for like $20 million a year, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I just don't see that happening at all. And I think Kirk Cousins is going to get whatever he wants because he's the closest thing to I don't want to say franchise guy, but the closest thing to an upper echelon quarterback that is available.
Yeah,
right now.
Well, the Vikings might be able to get him for a little less because his other options of teams that can give him like what he wants, I guess, are like the Browns, the Jets, the Broncos. Like, these are not good teams.
And did Jacksonville, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Jacksonville decide that Bortles was their dude again next season? Did they kind of like give him
They still have to figure that out. His option. They picked up his option last year.
Okay.
So if they keep him, he's owed like $20 million next year.
Yeah.
But they can cut him before March. That's actually one place I think Case Keenum might end up if he doesn't end up with the Vikings, is Jacksonville.
Okay.
So they could either have him come in and compete with Bortles or just get rid of Bortles altogether and just bring Keenum in. Because how different Jaguars probably could have got to the Super Bowl if they had Case Keenum.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds.
As crazy as that's, what an outrageous statement that is.
Yeah.
If the Jaguars had Keenum, they probably are in the Super Bowl. Like, if you would think about that statement 1 year ago today, we would have laughed ourselves silly. We would have laughed ourselves silly. The NFL, it's a crazy place. Yeah, man, there's so much money in these teams, and they all want quarterbacks. I feel like these guys are going to get paid.
I think people have stopped worrying about the money part too, because NFL teams, they have people that figure that stuff out. So that's not really.
They always get who they want. The cap is like. When was the last time you remember a team being like, "Oh, we can't do that because we don't have enough cap space"?
Yeah. Well, and if they can't, then they're not in the discussion.
Yeah.
If the team's in the discussion, that means they can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings wouldn't be in any of these talks or rumors or whatever if they couldn't afford them.
If they were in a cap position where it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, people are worried about not being able to extend other players on their roster. They're still going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
They have enough money. They have almost like $55 million in cap space. They could release a couple more players.
So
have even more.
Let me ask you this, and I'm not. You don't feel obligated to answer or whatever if you don't know, because I'm not assuming that you know. But if they sign a Cousins to a 4-year, way too much money, will that later on down the road, will that lead to them not being able to sign a Barr, a Kendricks, somebody that you would deem a core player on defense?
I don't think so.
Because it feels like that's the easiest counter argument to all of this is you're not going to be able to sign the defense, and then what do you got? Case Keenum and no defense.
I don't think so, because I think like if they sign Cousins this year, in the first year they can give him a bunch of money, like in his signing bonus and stuff for this year, make his base salary like lower than normal.
Yep.
Give him a bunch of money up front, guaranteed or whatever, and then they're able to sign like Diggs and Barr to extensions this year.
Yep.
And then they could do a similar thing even next year. Just because it's in his signing bonus doesn't mean that it counts. Well, it still counts against the cap, but
it won't be counting against the cap over a 4-year time period.
So they'll be able to still extend players and stuff like that, and the players that are going to get extensions, they're not going to get $20 million a year,
like a quarterback is. Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that's what everybody's thinking is that they have $55 million in cap space, so that means they get 2 free agents this year. It's like, well, that's not how that's going to work. But they're just way it slides.
The most any of those players I think will get right now is like maybe 15.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's not every single one.
I understand that Twitter is irrational and overreacts, and I get all of that. But can you remember such an outrageous time, and it's so divisive between people who are either you want Keenum or who's going to be the quarterback for the Vikings going forward?
Feels like it's been
you say it again.
Feels like it's been never ending.
Never ending. That's what I'm. Yeah, and from the time before Teddy was down until it's building, and now it's like people are cutthroat about it, man. I feel like everybody needs to chill out.
Yeah, I thought this was Minnesota nice.
That's what I'm saying, and it's making my Twitter visits less enjoyable, guys. So come on.
Oh yeah, that mute button comes in very handy. You don't have to block everybody unless they get
out of control. Yeah, but the mute is important.
Mute button comes in handy.
It is. I just find that even the majority of my timeline, even the people that I like, the good ones, that I'm like, you're a good one. That's why I follow. No, even them getting involved in
I try my best to offer a level sort of viewpoint. Okay, I don't like Sam Bradford. I never have. I'm never gonna not like him. I just never thought he was as amazing as people have thought. He's got talent, but he doesn't know how to use it. That's pretty much my summary of his career. And he has injury problems, so it's kind of hard to be a great quarterback when you can't stay on the field.
I've said it before on this podcast, the best kind of ability is availability.
Yeah, even Blake Bortles can stay on the field.
And that's why he's still got a job. That's why he's still the starter there. Period.
Yeah. But the thing with it's like Keenum, people are like, well, he got us the NFC Championship. Yeah, yes and no. It was definitely wasn't all him. It definitely wasn't not him either.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got there. He made some good plays. Obviously, that last play against the Saints, he played a big part in. But
it's almost like people feel like the Vikings have to be the team to reward him because his performance helped the Vikings. So it's like they are almost like, oh, you have to give him the money because he's the guy who's on your team. It's like, no, somebody's going to give him money. He's going to get rewarded for his wonderful play. We don't have to sign our franchise up on him because he played well for a season. Congrats, Case Keenum. You did play great for a season.
Pretty sure Randall Cunningham didn't play the full year after the 98 season.
No, he did not.
I don't know if he got hurt or he was benched, but
no, I was listening. Mike Morris was on 1500, and he's been on there a bunch saying that he Randall Cunningham freaked out and it was like, I can't play anymore. Was just unable to make a throw to where he needed to. Yeah, that. I don't know if the yips would be the right term, but he said Mike Morris is I've never seen anything like it. And he just told Denny Green, I'm not going to be able to play anymore.
That's a good
yeah,
impression.
do you like that? Thank you. I work on it sometimes, but yeah, I busted it out today. Let's talk Hall of Fame. Specifically, let's mention all of the Hall of Fame electees. Is that the right?
I guess.
Enshrinees, yeah, that's a better word too. So, Randy Moss, Ray Lewis, Brian Urlacher, Terrell Owens. Which one? Terrell?
Tomato.
I don't know. And then Brian Dawkins.
And
then that offensive lineman for Green Bay.
There was somebody else.
Old.
Oh, Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I said Ray Lewis. Didn't I?
Oh, I thought you did.
Oh,
no,
maybe I just read it and didn't ever say it. Very possible. Very possible.
You murdered that.
How do you feel about Randy Moss? Do you like him as a football player?
He's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a couple good years.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
No, obviously he's arguably the greatest receiver to ever play in the NFL. People may dispute that because some of his stats, I guess maybe his catches aren't up there. It's still 15th or whatever all time.
Mm.
But he didn't need a lot of catches to make an impact on a game. He could just get the ball and run 60 yards the other way.
Catch 5 passes and score 3 touchdowns.
The Packers, I think it was 99 or 2000, they drafted 3 DBs in one draft, all over 6 feet. Because of him.
Yeah.
That wasn't the cover of the Lions receivers.
He was unbelievable. And what was most impressive was
reason why I like the Vikings.
Yeah. From day one, I think the coolest.
Yeah, I think I started to like them in 97.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, this is cool. And then 98 came along. I was like, oh.
Favorite team. Yeah. He's unbelievable. And it does, I will say this, though, puts into perspective how good Jerry Rice was as well. Because you look at Randy Moss's stats and then compare them to Jerry Rice's. Wowzers, Jerry Rice.
Yeah, Jerry Rice played a long time.
A very long time. And I think that is part of the reason those numbers are so inflated, because you forget he played, he was in Seattle, he was in Oakland for a little while there at the end.
But Randy Moss still second in most receiving touchdowns.
Yeah.
He didn't play as long as Jerry Rice.
No.
So.
No. Yeah, Randy Moss was incredible. What, the question I have written down here, what was your favorite Randy Moss play? Ever. Not just Vikings, but just Randy Moss plays in general.
I think it'd probably be my first memory, really, of him, which was, I think it was 98, Monday night game against the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
The Vikings were either 3-1 or 4-0 or something like that. It was they're going to Green Bay. Okay, let's see if they're real or whatever. And I didn't even watch the game because I was 10 years old, so I had to go to bed or whatever.
Yeah.
Living on the East Coast.
Whatever stupid rules.
Yeah. And I wake up and I see I would read the newspaper or whatever when I was younger because it still existed.
Yeah.
I saw the Vikings were on the cover. And I'm like, what? Like, this never happens. And so he was on there, catching touchdowns. I just remember watching the highlights of him just like jumping over. Well, I guess you could call it now mossing the other DBs. They just having no answer for him, and he just went off. And then that Thanksgiving game was pretty crazy too. He had like 3 catches and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, he was unbelievable. That, I guess, is my first like big memory is the Thanksgiving, just because I remember there being a lot of hype on him, and I remember wondering if he was going to perform well, and then he did that, and and it's like, oh my God, this guy's unbelievable. But I think my favorite play was I can't even remember. I want to say it was Detroit that they were playing. I could be wrong on that. But at halftime, he catches it, flips it like over his head, shoulder.
Broncos.
Yeah. Oh, was it Broncos? And then
Mo Lewis.
Yep.
Not Mo Lewis. Mo Williams.
Mo Williams. And then Mo Williams scores. That's my favorite.
That was cool. That was good. I was like he threw a couple touchdowns too.
Yeah. I saw one throw was absolutely incredible. Right.
But he never ran for a touchdown, which is weird too.
Very interesting. This dog.
And he did have I think he had a punt return too.
Yeah, he did. Yes.
Against the Chiefs, I think.
Mm-hmm. It was like
seen that highlight a couple of times.
Good work, Randy.
There's just a lot. There's a lot. You could watch his highlights all day.
Oh, it's like asking who's your favorite kid. I could watch hour-long highlights of
they
him.
Still hold up today.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the players today.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. All right,
well,
this is a good time for me to be done because this dog is about to go crazy, and they're all coming inside. So, good episode, bud.
All right, we'll talk more next week about the Vikings. We got a couple months to talk about this stuff.
Got draft, free agent, all kinds of stuff to go through.
And Hall of Fame inductions.
Yeah. All right, bud. We'll see you next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.